Hello everyone, this is Shaukat Jan. In our last topic, we discussed about French Revolution and how Rousseau became an inspiration behind the French Revolution. So now in this particular topic, we are going to discuss about American Revolution and the ideas of James Madison. Before moving to this particular topic, I would like to give you a broad idea of French Revolution because it's very important to us to have a broad idea of French Revolution. So, what does the French Revolution says? The French Revolution says people have to present a will, a general will, or a will that will unite the people. So, in order to bring commonness among the people, this was the broad idea that Rousseau began with, and eventually he became an inspiration for French Revolution. In other words, this revolution says that people have to assert their will in order to build a new political system that should be based on rights, equality, justice, etc. So that is the part of Rousseau's legacy. So, what is the problem with Rousseau's theory? So, what are the limitations with Rousseau's theory? Many of the critics says that although he speaks about democracy, but when we put these things in practice, we could find that a tiny minority tries to impose its will on people. So, what was supposed to be a democratic will, what was supposed to foster through common shared purpose, becomes something which is being used by tiny minority to impose its wishes upon the public. So, journal will lost its importance here. So many critics says that Rousseau becomes philosopher of totalitarianism rather than being thinker of democracy because tiny minority can push state towards the domination, complete domination. Now we're going to contrast between French and American revolutions. So on what basis these are different? So if we will talk about French Revolution, due to some limitations on French Revolution, after some period of time, people revolted against this structure, and new forces emerged. On the other hand, American Revolution is being presented on liberal circles or under liberalism as much better model than French Revolution. So why is it better model? Because it was presented in 1976 and its constitution is being still followed after centuries. So this is called the model to be followed by liberals, anti-colonials, and Latin American philosophers. Even Karl Marx was following Americans closely. That has correspondence of letters he had written to Abraham Lincoln, the then president of America. Now the another big thing is that how American Revolution was different in European countries. America became space for Europeans to redefine themselves because that time there was a big fight between Catholics and Protestants, because Catholics and Protestants were two different religious groups and their ideologies clashed with each other. So that was a big fight that time that occurred in European countries. So America becomes the space for them to redefine themselves. So the beginning of American Revolution was basically it became colony of Brits, and the many countries have made claim over America, like Spain, Holland, France, England, and others, and some other countries. So they fought wars with each other, and eventually British wins the war and becomes the dominant force. During the 1760s, the economy of British starts declining, and they passed the decision from London to impose more taxes on America and its colonies. This taxation was unacceptable to Americans as they used to be loyal to the British, and there was no such anti-British sentiment on such level. So but it hurts their ego when they see we are doing hard work and our decisions are being taken in London. So it triggered revolt against centralization, and the slogan "They Rise" became famous. It was no taxation without representation. So and it says that without any representation we would not accept any kind of law. However, it turned into a deadlock, and eventually full-fledged war started between American and British establishments. In 1776, they signed famous Declaration of Independence, which is declaration by the rebels says we will be no longer part of British Empire. It is a declaration of independence, of political separation or political divorce, and then it exceeds to 1780s, and again it started in 1804. So it was a big period that brought change in US geography. After 1776 it was clear that they are moving towards independence, and slowly they moved towards the government. Initially they made a government that was weak at center, and major hindrance was that they cannot generate revenue or to impose taxes upon local states. The local states were not ready to impose anything upon them, as they were with the intent we have snatched freedom from London to take our own decisions. Our decisions should be discussed on local level. It triggered massive debate on centralization of powers, and many states involved into a civil war. This is still a massive debate in America, how much power each state would have. So what was the role of James Madison in American Revolution? So how he is important to this revolution? So during 1917 a massive debate was triggered that we have need new kind of constitution, and it should be effective than any other constitution. So two people emphasizes more on it. Today these are known as Federalist Papers, among which one was Alexander Hamilton, right hand of Washington, the father of American Revolution, and another one was James Madison. What were the main argument of James Madison? So what were the problem he identifies? The key problem, the key argument of James Madison is that how to prevent certain fraction of society from gaining the power in society. One fraction should not dominate whole political system. In the other words, how to prevent majoritarianism. If majority will rule, it may destroy the generations of minorities. If it would go like that, in this sense, monarch is better than this rule. Means king rule is better than this rule. At least every community will have its own king and rights. To prevent it, we have to find alternate, in which he says by fraction I understand a number of citizens, by the amounting majority or minority as a whole we are united and activated by the common impulse of passion of interest adverse to the rights of other citizens. Now he gives two different options to fight against these fractions. So first one is that you can eradicate cause of friction. Second is that to stop effects of fractions. So let's discuss about the first one. How can we eradicate cause of fractions in society? In which James Madison says that we should curtail the rights of people in decision making. If we will seek the opinions or advices of the peoples, they will say anything, everything in favor of majority. So it is better to snatch their rights, but in the same sense it's not a good sign to snatch their rights. He quotes an example of an oxygen. He says that oxygen is related to the fire, so it does not mean we will finish the oxygen from society to extinguish fire. So if we will do so, everybody will die because of suffocation. In the similar case, we cannot curtail liberty. No doubt it can be misused. By eradicating liberty is worse than possibility of its misuse. Madison says that freedom of speech has dangerous consequences in society, but stopping freedom of speech can be dangerous than providing freedom of speech or freedom of expression. The impact of censorship and snatching liberty and freedom is like snatching oxygen from society. If we will do so, the entire society will die because of suffocation. So in the similar case, if we will snatch freedom, freedom of expression, liberty, rights in democratic setup, the entire democratic project will collapse. So let's discuss about the second point, how to stop effects of fractions in society. So here James Madison says that we have to forge similar opinion in society. There should be same opinion everywhere. Where nobody should criticize anyone. Here we have to do social engineering among the people, as they should think same, and their thinking capacity should be restricted to one similar point of view. But at the same time he said that it's better to accept their disagreements in society, as we cannot make similar society with same opinion. There should be disagreements in society. It's better to accept the differences rather than trying to eradicate it completely. This is the another big thing he says here. After these two questions, the James Madison says that what should we do. So he says that we cannot impose singular opinion, but we should set up the different kind of political system where we can observe diverse of opinions. At the same time we should unite people, and to maintain balance between representing ones also coming to common shared purpose. So instead of making or forming single legislative assembly, we have to form multiple legislative assemblies. We have to decentralize power between center and state assemblies. So what are the benefits of both state and central assembly? So he says that if we will provide all powers to state assembly, they would think of local issues instead of issues on general interest. So on the other hand, we have need center, so that people from particular area should have think of broader interest, that is interest of country. So if we will work on both, it will provide autonomy to the state, and in center we will make relation of particular and universal. This is the key point Madison says here. So rather than seeing one general interest, there should have a relationship between particular and general will. So another thing he says that nobody will try to overthrow the system to put military coup in use, because every state has powers whether to accept or not. No one can overthrow government because of decentralization of powers. On the other hand, if any person separates specific agenda on basis of hate, fascism, he can be accepted in one state but not in all other states. It's a multi-tier system. Nobody can overtake this with fascist agenda. Nobody can over hijack this with fascist agenda. If he managed to get position in one state, state or center, but it would be difficult for him or for that party to impose their will upon everyone in the country. So James Madison here says that it's better way to stop the worst elements of tyranny. So what are the limitations of this theory? So there was not actual transfer of social power, economic power. Only political power from one ruling elite to another was discussed, while Karl Marx endorsed for economic power. During the 20th century, world witnessed many anti-colonial revolutions. They were inspired by both French and American Revolution.